Good morning, gentle people. It is Sunday, August 15th. August is half over. Summer is, I don't know, flying by, right? The garden is abundant, and it's been a little while since I've given you a little video update, so I figured today was a good day to do it. So today is, guesses, yes, salsa day. Okay, so I'll be making that in a minute. The King Philip Heirloom corn is doing really well. I'll give you an example of what it's going to look like. I spoke with the people at True Love Seeds, where I got the heirloom seeds from, and I said, how do I know when to harvest it? Because one of the cobs kind of started to unhusk itself, and it just looked like a yellow cob, kernels, and I'm like, I don't understand, it's yellow, it's supposed to be red. And they said, oh, just leave it on the stalk until the husks are papery thin, and that's when you harvest it, and it will have turned color by that point. And you can see this one here, the kernels are already turning red. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. This is going to be ground down into cornmeal, and you can see we've got pole beans using the stalks to support themselves, just as designed in the Three Sisters bed. We've got all pole beans starting to climb up the stalks, and the auxiliary poles I put in here. Oh, we've even got some over on this one. I don't know if you can see, but is already sending out some flowers. So I'm going to have a lot of pole beans. I didn't have the best luck with pole beans in the ground this year because of, yeah, bunnies, everyone's nemesis. We've got some more pole beans kind of coming along here. Lots of squash and pumpkin blossoms kind of. This bed is basically weed free because of the squash and pumpkins. So it's, kept the need to water frequently down. It certainly kept weeds down. And yeah, the beans enrich the soil with nitrogen. The beans use the corn, which the corn needs. The beans use the corn to climb upon, and the squash and pumpkins provide ground cover, retaining moisture and preventing weeds. So that's the notion of a Three Sisters bed. So I've got a fall crop of peas planted here next to the potatoes that I've left in the ground. Haven't harvested. I harvested one row, but I haven't harvested this row. And if we can navigate out of here, the rain barrel is great. So if you're out in the garden, you get your hands dirty, get them covered with like a pesticide or fertilizer or something, or just plain old dirt, and you want to wash your hands, immediate source of water. Actually, washing my feet. But it's also really convenient because you can just like mix bottles or buckets of fertilizer like right here. If you don't have enough rain to keep the rain barrel full, this one's got a slow leak, just fill it with a hose, and that way you're prepared if there's a sudden water ban or water shortage or rain shortage in your area. Okay, so coming along, back along this way, corn, corn, corn. Got some 4 o'clocks in here, which are an annual flower, but they seeded themselves. They weren't even planted anywhere near this bed last year, but anyway, dill that seeded itself. Squash and pumpkins are like crazy. They will find a way through and around anything. So This has popped through the fence, which is cool with me. This is all oregano here. I'm gonna harvest and try to make some oregano oil. Ton of thyme. I'm gonna make some thyme oil. Um, I've already made like the legendary Four Thieves vinegar. We've got oregano and lots of basil and stuff, so there's still plenty of stuff I can do with the herbs. These original poor cucumbers I mean, they're still kind of producing a little bit. I can make some pickles with them still, but they're starting to die back. These I planted just a couple of weeks ago, and they're a pickling cucumber, and they like germinated and sprouted like overnight. These are legit, not even 2 weeks since I planted them yet. So as these early plantings of beans start to die off, of cucumbers, I've got another crop coming in, so I'll be able to harvest cucumbers and make pickles well into the fall. In here, this is broccoli rabe, which I planted a few weeks ago. That's one of the, I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it's in the family that has cabbage and Brussels sprouts and broccoli and all that good stuff. So this is broccoli rabe, also known as rapini. You eat the whole stalk, the leaves, everything. Flowers. Tomatoes are doing well. Harvested all the ripe ones this morning and kind of tied them up and pruned them up. And these are beets in this pot. And yeah. I think Detroit Red is a variety. I've got more beets planted in this pot, which I started later. Okay. Pretty flowers always attract pollinators to your garden, so it's always a good idea to incorporate zinnias, marigolds. Marigolds repel unwanted things. Zinnias and brightly colored flowers attract butterflies, bees, all sorts of pollinators. So I always like to incorporate them in with my vegetables. We've got more beans planted in a container here, and they're all just starting to flower now. These were planted late July, I guess, so about 2-3 weeks ago, maybe 3. And this is going to be, I'm going to certainly get at least 2 or 3 pints off that. Get some lavender. These 4 crates are all filled with Heirloom Carrots, which I planted on July 28th, and then I planted a second planting a week or 2 later. So they're coming right along. I have more carrots. The great thing about growing carrots in a container is there's no rocks. And so you get longer, fatter, bigger carrots that aren't all misshapen and deformed. Sweet potatoes, growing like crazy. That's in this pot here. I'm just going to let these go. The peppers are all doing really well. Harvested a bunch of those. More green beans here in a window box. Got yellow ones and green ones. More green beans in a pot over there. Sunflowers, gigantic. And then we come back around here. So stuff is doing really well. It's been a lot of people are complaining, and we've got like a pumpkin or something forming right there. And if you poke around inside here, there's a squash forming down there, butternut squash. This is going to be fun I'm going to have a harvest going well into October, early November here. A lot of people have been complaining that it's been a bad year for gardening. I don't know. Yeah, there's been a lot of rain, but a lot of rain means we haven't had to water that much. Let me just move this a little bit. So kind of been a mixed blessing. Lots of rain means we don't have to water. Lots of rain means some stuff kind of rots, and some plants will rot if you don't have good drainage. With pots and containers, you can always assure that you have good drainage. You can't always dig down, a foot or so into a garden bed, in-ground bed, and start fresh. So um, it could be a little bit more challenging sometimes to get really good drainage in a traditional in-ground garden bed. In pots and containers, you can um, control your drainage, control your medium, and I haven't had anything rot on the vine or root rot, or I haven't really had a problem with any pests or diseases. I did have a problem with rodents early on, as I've detailed, as we all have this year. The bunnies seem to have kind of moved on to greener pastures or something now, but uh, yeah, it's been a great year as far as I'm concerned. I'm so happy with my garden this year. Um, and I've been canning something at this time like almost every day. Stuff that I didn't grow, like blueberries and regular corn on the cob. I just find like a farm stand that's grown them locally, and purchase them purchase that stuff from there and then can it. So I have, the taste of summer all season long. Um, Working on a new book. Um, Hopefully have it released in another month or so. And until that time, happy gardening. Be well, peace, and I'll chat with you soon.